Hello guys, going to be going over the Friday, May 6th MLB slate. So we have a full slate of 15 games today. Just going to give a quick review of how we did yesterday. We did pretty good. And Willie Damas, he just absolutely went off. He hit the runs plus RBIs prop in the first inning, and then he actually hit 2 homers after. Soto homer as well, Buxton too. Correa got hurt. Rich Hill, he went further in the game than expected, like for an opener kind of thing. When you hear a follower with Tanner Houck, like you usually don't see Hill pitch, for over 4 innings, but he did, and unfortunately, he was pitching well. And then also Nick Martinez, just the Marlins were swinging really early in the count. So many of those at bats were just 1 or 2 pitches, and obviously when those happen, then the pitcher's going to be able to go deeper in the game. So unfortunately, we missed a few of those yesterday, but overall, it was definitely a good slate if you did mix and match all of those plays. Now, looking at today, so usually Friday, there are a lot of plays that I'm going to like, but for today, that's not the case because there's just there are a lot of games that have possible postponement risk. Like, I was checking some of the weather for these spots, and it looks like they're going to be raining like the entire day. So I think we're going to see a lot of postponements here. Cubs and Dodgers, because they are a morning game, they might be able to just push it back. So if this game goes and if any other of these games go, I'll be sure to update on my Twitter. But right now, because the weather basically says that these games have no chance of playing, I'm not going to give any of these plays out. There's still going to be some that I do like from the games that will for sure play. So all of these games, almost half of these are just possibly getting postponed. But we're going to start off with strikeouts. So there are a good bit I do have some interest in. First one's going to be Eric Lauer, 5.5 Ks, and I'm going to take the over on this. Eric Lauer changed some of his pitching mechanics this offseason, and he's throwing a lot faster, especially on his fastball. So the increased velocity is just leading to a lot more strikeouts. Atlanta, they are a good offensive team, but if you look at their K rate, they ranked 5th highest in K percentage against left-handed pitching this year. So that's definitely a very good thing to see for Lauer. He's also he's just pitching deeper in the games. So the ability to go 100 pitches, that just helps him because he's gonna face more batters, more pitches, more chances to strike out guys, of course. So the next guy is going to be Luis Garcia, 5 strikeouts over. Detroit, the Tigers, they are. Let me pull up their data for right-handed pitchers. Detroit, so they strike out the 7th highest rate. They're basically tied for 5th and only a little bit behind the Angels at 4th. So the Tigers, the one thing is that their WRC plus, like other than the strikeout rate, their hitting stats, they're really not that great. Like the ISO, a .094 ISO is just awful. And so that's a good thing to see when you're taking a pitcher, because if they're not able to get anything going, then the starting pitcher is just going to be able to go probably deeper in the game. So more chances of, facing more batters and getting those strikeouts as well. So I think you can definitely get to 5 for at least a push. Detroit Lions, they just have a lot of righties, a lot of guys that do K. Like Akil Baddoo, he's a lefty, but he actually led off last game, and even though he hits from the left side, like his K rate is insanely high. So even, Baddoo, a guy that isn't a righty, you look at all these righties that they got in their lineup, this is a pretty good strikeout spot for Luis Garcia, a very low run total. So I do like the 5 Ks. Now, the next one, I think I would say I'm the most confident in this one out of all the strikeout props. And that's going to be Sandy Alcantara over 5 strikeouts. So the Padres, I think they're 17th. In K percentage against righties. Yeah, they're 17th. So they're basically league average in a lot of these statistics against the righty. So, nothing that's bad, nothing that's really good. But 5 strikeouts for Alcantara, who he definitely has a lot of good strikeout stuff. He hasn't really shown it this year, but his numbers, like we know that he's a good pitcher. He's one of the better guys on this Marlins team. They have a lot of quality pitchers, and Alcantara is definitely among the best for them. I just feel like at 5 strikeouts, you're going to be able to get the push here. He is, again, one of their top arms. I think he's like the first guy in the rotation. So just I would say he has a longer leash. He's able to go deeper in the games. He can throw a lot of pitches, and the Padres, their offense is just okay right now. Like Fernando Tatis still out. Um, they're not anything crazy that you have to be afraid about. And then the next one is going to be Jordan Hicks under 4 strikeouts. So for this one, I think it's just up to how long he goes, because he was a former closer, but now he's turned starter, and he doesn't go deep. Like not gonna throw probably more than like 3 and maybe a little bit more innings. And he does have really good strikeout stuff. He throws really fast with that sinker. But the Giants, you know how the Giants line up. Like, they will stack their lineup with guys that have the platoon advantage. So even if the Cardinals bring, a lefty in, like, well, we don't care, because then at that point, Hicks, he's done. But you're going to see a lot of lefties in this lineup for San Francisco. And they do have Yastrzemski back. They have Jock Peterson back. I'm not sure about Brandon Belt. He's missed quite a while now. But if he's able to return, like, this is another bat that is going to make it tough for Hicks. So I do like this spot sort of for the Giants to, well, at least not strike out, because Hicks, he's just going to have to face a lot of lefties. That's how the Giants play. So there's some guys that are going to be concerned, like Darren Ruff. He has a very high K rate, like 30+% against righties. So that's a worry. But, if he's able to not strike out, just any type of other out, or some of these lefties, they don't strike out, like, that's all going to be very good for this prop. I also think that at least a round number allows you to push. So he's definitely in play. Now, first inning runs allowed. There's only one play, and it's not even like a favorite of mine. It's just going to be a lean, and that is going to be Colorado and Arizona. I know it's a weird pick because Chad Kuhl and Merrill Kelly really aren't aces. They're far from it. But Merrill Kelly, he's definitely shown improvements. I believe he pitched in KBO recently. And if you don't know, like, the Korean League, they throw a lot of breaking balls. And so Merrill Kelly, like, he's definitely been, he's able to kind of like improve that pitch. And also, I think he's added a changeup, if I'm not mistaken. So he's just able to generate more swings and misses with some of his pitches, make the other pitches more effective. So I like this matchup. Colorado, they're playing away. That's very important because they just don't have the luxury of Coors Field anymore. And with Arizona, they're facing off against Chad Kuhl. Chad Kuhl, his numbers, they don't look too bad, actually. Like, sure, there's some blue, but Chad Kuhl, he's pretty good this year. Like, you look at his ERA, 1.9 right now, expected ERA, 2.95, which is still really solid. He's just not going to be a high K guy, but he's definitely shown improvement this year. Don't know if it's going to be for the whole year, but you look at what he's been doing before to this year, and now he's getting one of the better matchups in all of baseball. I do like the under for at least just, the first inning. Like, these guys should be able to keep them in check just for that one inning. So I like the under. Again, not the most common play that I want to put an asterisk next to it, but if you had to take a first inning run prop, it would be this one for the under. Now, pitching outs, nothing for right now. For fantasy score, same thing. So we're gonna move on to hitters, and I think my favorite play is gonna be Yordan Alvarez. Talking a lot about this guy. He is just one of the better hitters in all of baseball. 7.5 fantasy score projection. He should really be 8.5, and he's facing off against the Tigers. He's gonna get the platoon advantage. Even if they bring in a lefty against him, he's just fine. Like, he's very capable hitting against left-handed pitchers. And he's going up against Bo Brisky, which he's a young guy. Not expecting him to be really anything special. He's also not like a coveted prospect. He wasn't like a top pick. So this game, Houston, 90-degree weather, 7 miles blowing out, the wind, and just they have Jose Altuve back. It just helps their entire offense. So I like the chances of him coming off the plate, batting with guys on base, having those RBI chances, and guys behind him that can drive him in. Yuli, a very high contact guy. Kyle Tucker playing really well pretty much all year. Numbers are finally starting to show up. So I like the spot for Yordan Alvarez batting cleanup in what should be a pretty good offensive game for these Astros. Now, the next play is going to be Byron Buxton, and it's going to include Jorge Polanco with him. So Carlos Correa got hurt He was hit by a pitch and he left early, so he's probably not going to be in the lineup. And they're facing off against also a young pitcher for Oakland. Cole Irvin has been placed on the IL, so it's actually going to be, I think it's Zach Lug, maybe is how you pronounce it. Just not someone who is expected to go deep. He only went like 1 1/3, I think, innings last time, but now used as a starter, maybe goes deeper, maybe goes 2 at least, but you're getting Buxton with the platoon advantage. Buxton's his ability to steal, that's gonna really pay off throughout the entirety of the game. If he needs to, hit his fantasy score that way, I always say it, but speed is so important. If you have a guy that can steal to get those 5 fantasy points, it's gonna make hitting so much more easier. And Oakland, they're not supposed to be a good team, don't have a good bullpen. Twins also playing back at home, so Buxton leading off just seems like a pretty good spot for a 7-point projection. And Jorge Polanco, platoon advantage for him, a switch hitter, can do it from both sides of the plate. He's probably going to bat second, it says, because Carlos Correa is probably going to be out. So that's going to help Buxton. Like, it makes sense for a pretty easy stack, actually. So this is one of the opportunities that I think you can play them both together and make a 3 or 4 pick or something like that. Only a 6-point projection, so I think you can definitely hit that. And then we're going to move on to Arizona. So I know I said I like Colorado, Arizona for no runs for sitting, but I would say you make Varsho in a separate entry. It's not out of the question that you can play them together, but I just wouldn't recommend it because that one at bat, like, it's really important for Varsho, for any hitter, to be able to hit their over. Certainly they can do it with one swing the bat later in the game, but it just doesn't really make sense to me. So Varsho, I like over 5.5. He leads off against righties, and Chad Kuhl, if you saw his numbers, strikeout, not the high strikeout guy. That's one of the Varsho's concerns, and that's definitely going to be mitigated a little bit. And then I've said this before a few days ago, but Dalton Varsho is a very good hitter. Like, his numbers are off the charts. Like, you don't expect this much red for Varsho, but he really is a solid hitter. And that's why I think at 5.5, I think it's a really strong play. He actually has the ability to steal bases as well. So, if we were to get lucky, then this is going to be an easy hit. And then the last pick here that I have is going to be Tommy Edman over 6 fantasy points. So the Cardinals are just basically on fire right now. Like, they're putting up runs, scoring a lot of runs basically every game. And Tommy Edman, he is the leadoff man. Dylan Carlson has been struggling, so he's taken over. I'm not too sure about a 3.6 run total right now for the Cardinals because Alex Cobb did not look good in his return from injury. It seemed like he figured something out. I think he just increases like fastball velocity by a lot. And that's why we saw him strike out 10 in his first start. But it seems like, he might be more on a pitch limit today. Also struggled with an injury last time. So I just have some doubts about him. And Tommy Edman just setting the table for this Cardinals lineup. So many stacked hitters behind him. Just the ability to drive him in. He also has the speed. No more Buster Posey, of course. So he can definitely steal a base here. Like, I just think a 6-point projection is really low for Edman, who's just been on fire. He's the new leadoff hitter. His entire team has been on fire. So I think that's definitely one of the better props today. But that's really it because there's nothing for runs and RBIs. I know I've said I really like this category, but a lot of these games are just possible rainouts. So I'm going to wait to put these out. If any of these games do end up playing, then I'll be sure to update you guys. So just keep an eye out on that. But yeah, just kind of, a tough slate because we are going to be probably missing a lot of games today due to rain. But favorite prop of the day, it's going to be Yordan Alvarez over 7.5. So that's going to be the play. I definitely thought about putting Byron Buxton as well with 7. And then third, I would put Alcantara over 5K. So that's going to be the video for today, guys. Hopefully you guys are able to make some good money again today. And thank you guys for the support. I've been noticing a lot of views, a lot of likes. So really do appreciate that. It really means a lot. It makes me want to continue putting these videos out. So really do appreciate all the support and love that you guys are showing me. So good luck in this slate again, and I'll see you in the next video.